Miss Brittany, what's going on?
Oh my goodness. A lot. What's up with you today?
Yeah, a whole lot. Like as of the recording of this, you just got off of doing a long conversation with Coach Jonathan Shane, and going to be on his podcast. Like this show here, I think is starting to open some doors for you, and that's really cool to see.
Yes, absolutely. I am blown away at the response since just the first episode. And I was telling him, like, I feel like I have stepped into my purpose. Let's do this. I was a little nervous the first go around on the podcast, but I am like smiling ear to ear. Cannot wait to get into this.
Yeah, the feedback has been wonderful. So thank you to all of you guys who've given us great feedback. We wanted this show to be unlike anything we've ever done before. And in fact, just a few moments before we came on the air here, I heard from one of my really good friends. I've known her since the paleo days. And she's like, Jimmy, what you're doing right now is really good. Like, don't stop that.
Awesome.
And it's not that I'm not interested in keto and all the things I'm known for, but this is purposeful podcasting here. Not that I didn't think the other served purpose. It was informational purpose, but this is purpose with an ability to change your life. We're already starting to get that kind of feedback. So that's the neat thing about podcasting that you're just now learning.
Yes, I think that there is so much potential here. And I mean, yes, we're making a difference out there, but man, it made a difference for me. Just after one episode, I'm like, man, where are we going? Like, I can just see it projected a year from now. Where are we going to be personally in growth, not just with other people?
Well, the amazing thing is you and I talk like we do on the podcast all the time. It's like, I can't just go and say, hey, Brittany, how's it going? Yeah, I don't want to just know the casual stuff. We just go, and it's just like we're there.
Right.
And the topic we're going to hit on today has hit both of us very recently, me as of yesterday, and you seemingly a lot, but you know how to handle it, which is why I think we need to talk about it. But yeah, this whole idea being overwhelmed, I thought was a really good early topic we need to hit here on One Step Deeper. Before we do that, One Step Deeper is the name of the show. I'm Jimmy Moore. That's Brittany Davis. And we started this show recently, very quickly, just through our conversations as friends. I said, so Brittany, you like any mindset podcasts out there? Yeah, there's a few out there, but I just wish they'd go one step deeper. And I'm like, bang, there it is. We're going to do that show. So that's how we arrived here. We're setting up the infrastructure now for our website. We've got the podcast on the way. If you're listening on the podcast, you're getting to catch up to now where we are on our YouTube videos. All the videos will be on YouTube. If you just do quotes, One Step Deeper, we're the only show called One Step Deeper. So you'll find all of our episodes there. We're throwing some bonus episodes. You did a really good little bonus episode on your stories that you didn't know I was going to take a video shot of stories, but we posted that up there. And so you get all kind of really good information, but all the episodes will be on YouTube even after we start the podcast. But thank you for being here and listening and watching. We're excited to go deep. So let's get into this thing about overwhelmed and how to process it. I've got a lot of thoughts. I guess I should just start because
Go ahead.
Yesterday, Jimmy was overwhelmed. And I think we all have those moments where circumstances just kind of come together at just the right moments, or in this case, just the wrong moments that make you feel in despair. And it's this suddenness. And I know you've been there. You talked about it on the last episode of, I may or may not have been crying on the floor for hours in a process of overwhelm. And for me, it was yesterday. And it's just one little trigger that can lead you down that rabbit hole of just all out despair, gloom and doom, and we're both pretty happy-go-lucky people, but I'm not used to being in that realm. I'm going through a very difficult situation. I'm not at liberty to talk about, but it's something that's pretty traumatic. And it just continues to have those moments for me. So yesterday I was texting little Miss Thang here because I was like, I need some help. And you pulled a Brittany on me, and Pulled me out. Kind of tell them what you did, because it was really good.
I respect everybody and I let them have their moment. I really do. And I'm probably a lot more understanding with other people, but Jimmy and I have gone so deep that I'm just like, let's cut through it. I'm like, okay, you're feeling this way. This is completely normal and accepted, and you're allowed to feel this way. You know, I'm going to tell you to feel the feels. Like, that's just me. I'm going to tell you to sit right there with it, hold on to it, feel everything you got to feel. And then I asked you, why? That's what I was doing yesterday on that bonus episode. I had no idea that you were going to record. I was just saying, hey, why? Take it one step deeper. Why are you feeling this way? Why are you in despair? What is it? What is that particular thing? Because it's not the entirety of what we're thinking in our brain. It's always one thing. It always comes back to that one thing, that inner thing that just twists us and just guts us. That one thought. You had to go deep.
And it's a distilled thought as well. You think about how the brain tries to process things, and we're talking about processing overwhelm today. So the brain tries to process things and make it simplified so we have some explanation. That's the way at least my brain operates, and I'm sure most people. It's why COVID and all the everything has been crazy, because we can't conceptualize when's it going to end. It just feels like it's just this constant drear, and that's why people have had some overwhelming times this year. Is that you guys? Are you watching or listening right now and you've been overwhelmed by all the everything this year? Yeah, you're not alone. But your brain wants to distill it down, Brittany, into these little, okay, you're in despair, whether you really are or not. That's what your brain's telling you, because you're physically feeling it. I mean, yesterday when I wrote you, I was like shaking on the inside. I couldn't come out of it. And of course, some people think, okay, well, you just have a character flaw because you can't handle da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I know that's not your philosophy or my philosophy. It's okay to feel the feels, as you're saying, even if in the moment it's not the right way to feel it anyway. So you remind yourself why you need to overcome it and get out.
The right way. Like, please don't tell me the right way to feel. And the truth is, even if other people on the outside looking in can see the clear picture, when you're in the middle of overwhelm and you've got all these thoughts bombarding you, nothing is clear. It is all foggy, all hazy. It all swirls together, and there is no clear path. So please get off the right way to feel during a catastrophe, during a pandemic, during a personal thing. Like, please get off that.
Yeah, I think people beat themselves up when they get in that mode, though, of being overwhelmed, because they're like, I'm helpless, I'm hopeless. And on a conscious level, you don't really believe that. Like, if you're like fully with all your faculties, thinking things through and constantly doing the processing work, and I think pre-processing before you get to the overwhelm is so incredibly important, because if you know what to do once you get there, guess what? When you get there, you know what to do.
Exactly. When you feel in those moments of despair, if you have a checklist, even like, I'm a checklist person, I'm a perfectionist, I need a schedule. So when I get to that moment of overwhelm, if I go to these things and I do these things, I can process straight through that overwhelm. It's not always pretty. It ain't always pretty, but it's a process that can get me to the other side of that overwhelm.
And it doesn't mean you won't feel the despair still. You will. But I think it's you read. Like, what the thing I went through yesterday was a confluence of all these different things all at the same time hit me, related to the thing I'm going through. And it just, whoa, I like got blindsided from behind in the head, and somebody hit me in the front, and somebody over here, and I'm just going, what in the what? And so, but I rebounded pretty quick. I chatted with you over the text. I try not to just call all the time, because that can get a little nauseating for people on both ends. But you are always there in text, and I try to be there for you that way as well. I did talk to another friend, just in general about things who called, and that helps. And you process it, and you're fine. And today I'm completely fine. I don't have that feeling of overwhelm anymore. I'm feeling really excited about today. It could be that I was excited about recording with you today. Just it's real life to have these moments. Let's stop pretending like you're not allowed to be overwhelmed. You are very much allowed.
Yes, 100%. I think that's where we start. When you're talking about processing overwhelm, you have to start from a place of understanding. You cannot sit there in self-judgment going, I should do this and I should do that and I should do this. That'll be a later episode when we talk about stop shooting yourself. But
I'm sorry, stop doing what to myself?
Stop shooting yourself.
Oh, shooting. I thought you said something else.
Yes, 100%. We have to stop shooting ourselves and shooting all over ourselves of I should do this and I should do that and I should be here and I should be this way and I should be further in life and la 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 la. It's crap. It's crap. It's all crap. It's lies that we tell ourselves, and that's the place what we have to start. Throw out all the lies. Come back to reality a little bit. It's okay to feel overwhelmed, but you got to start throwing out the lies. You've got to.
Shooting is crap. So you did a joke and you didn't even know it. So.
Been hanging around you too long.
Hey, joy and laughter and humor is the spice of life, my dear.
100%.
Yes. So you mentioned the question why earlier, and we'll go back to my situation from yesterday. So you asked why, and I said something back, and you're like, okay, and why is that? And then I answered again, and it was kind of this whole, and this is a great strategy because we're trying to give not just conversations for people to see us talking with one another, but good takeaways. And people said that about the first episode about perfection, and all the things we did in the first episode. They were like, oh my gosh, that was a lot of practical information along with your stories. And so this whole asking yourself why thing, why does that work, Brittany?
It makes you go deeper. It just, why is such a simple word. And I will warn you, why is a dangerous word if it's used in the wrong context. Because if you're sitting here in despair and you're like, oh, why am I like this? And why does life happen to me? And why this? And if you're just despair, it's just going to take you deeper, but it's going to take you into despair. If you take it the opposite way, when you're in that moment, you're like, okay, why am I feeling this way? And you identify, okay, this is what I'm feeling. Okay, why am I feeling that? And you just keep growing deeper and deeper until you get to, and specifically yesterday when I was talking the bonus episode, I was talking about taking it one step deeper to find your why in life. And that's kind of where I'm going with it with you yesterday. That's where I was going of, okay, this is happening to you. You know, why do you feel this despair? What is it about this moment? You know, just keep taking it that one step deeper. I say that a lot, don't I?
Well, that is what we're branding here on this show. And we do go one step deeper and a million steps deeper, like we mentioned the last time. But like, it's such a profound journey. And thank you for making the clarification that when you ask why, it could go a negative or a positive direction. And I think in that realm, you don't ask why. We're going to go real deep here. You don't ask why based on your belief of the situation. You go why based on the reality of what's actually happening. And they could be the same, but most of the time they're two different things. And this is going to get into something Brittany and I are going to talk a lot about. We're going to challenge why you believe what you believe. We did a post on the One Step Deeper podcast Instagram page at One Step Deeper Podcast, as well as over on the Facebook page. You can look it up there. But we did a post about that where we have all these beliefs, but why do we believe those things? Are they real? Are they just things you just always believed and never really challenged? So we're going to try to get you to challenge those beliefs. So when you're asking those why questions, you may be doing it through a belief system that's not valid. So go that one step deeper, try to get to the truth of the facts of the situation rather than your beliefs.
Absolutely. And, you know, a couple of the things that we tell ourselves when it comes to overwhelm, and each specific case is differently and works differently, and there's something to uncover different. But one of the biggest ones is it must be all or nothing. I must say yes to everything. I absolutely have to say yes to everything. And those are like two big ones that leave us just so overwhelmed. Like, in particular, 2020, let's hit on it. Like, everybody just take a deep breath as we talk about 2020. Whew, okay. When you think about the thing after the thing after the thing after the thing, and then you have people on Instagram and Facebook and in your lives like, what do you mean you don't know about that thing? What do you mean you haven't been watching the news? What do you mean? I had to step away. And I think that's a good thing, because when you got all the things, too many fingers, like when you have all the things, you get overwhelmed, and you just kind of have to take a step back. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. And that's just part of the lies that society tells us, that we tell ourselves, and part of those beliefs that have been foundationally planted in our lives, that we must be a certain way or react a certain way or have certain emotions. Like, this whole processing overwhelm talk can go 20 steps deeper. It really can.
And it should, actually, because I think a lot of the trouble we have in the world with people that have the mental health breakdowns and the freakouts publicly that go viral on the internet, I think a lot of those are people who are overwhelmed and they don't know where to put it. And they've allowed themselves to manifest outwardly in erratic fashion things that should have been dealt with internally, because most of that outward expression is just a reflection of the turmoil in the inner. And we talked about both of our stories as kids, or last week's episode. You at 12 getting sexually molested, me at 14 to 17 and a half getting physically and emotionally abused, and just all the everything with everything. It's easy in the moment to be overwhelmed by those things, and to even like think back on those moments and let those moments that are long history in both of more history for me, but long history in both of our lives, and yet they can still to this day overwhelm.
Absolutely. It's like, let's go back to the cup analogy, the filling the cup analogy. That, yes, I don't have one, but I'm glad you do. Your cup has been filled your entire life with your beliefs and things that have been told to you, things that are in society. Your cup gets so freaking full that you can't take one step without it exploding all over the place. And sometimes, all the time, really, it's just dump it out. Just dump it out. And when we talk about tackling your belief systems, guys,
I feel like
3 years ago now, 3 years ago, I tell this story. I was done. I was done with what religion told me. I was done with what society told me. I was done with the lies that I'd planned that were just stuff. I literally dumped it all out and started from scratch. I researched, my particular religious beliefs, and I dug deep in, why do I think this way? Why do I believe this? Why is this a thought for me? Why is it? Because it was all overwhelming me. When you hear this thing over here, oh no, you gotta be this way. Oh no, you gotta be this way. Nope, you gotta do this and this, and just all the outside things. And I'm like, all right, I'm done with what everybody else tells me. I'm about to tell me. And I think that's where we start with overwhelm, is just dump the water out. Just pour the water on the floor and just let's start this process. Dump it all out. Brain dump if you must. Get a notebook, get a pen, write it down, dump it out your brain, all the things you believe, and just start going through them.
Get it out, don't hold it in. What's the Shrek used to say that? Better out than in. He was talking about the backside.
That's great. Because after a while, and you were talking about those viral things that happen when people have these breakdowns, multitasking ourselves to that level of trying to deal with all of the things in life leads to two things. Explosive outburst. Our body is not created to hold that amount of chaos inside ourselves, so it comes out. Or we multitask ourselves into inactivity. We do nothing. Fight, flight, freeze. Heard that one?
And in the holding in, I worry more about the people that hold things in. Because when you hold things in and hold things in and hold things in, you're like a pressure cooker just waiting to explode. And those people, the people that never show emotion, that never speak up, that never really, and they're dealing with things that are overwhelming, but the way they do it is they hold it in. Of course, that physically manifests in, various things happening as well. And that's not good either. Like I'd almost rather see one of the people act hooping and hollering, and because at least they're getting that stuff out. It's not productive. It's not healthy. But it's healthier than holding all that stuff in.
Yeah, absolutely. And the manifesting physically is something that, man, gets not talked about so much. It just gets thrown away. What do you mean? Like, when I feel anxiety, it is 100% physical. I feel like someone's squeezing my throat. I feel like someone's sitting on my chest. It's 100% a physical reaction for me. I get nauseous. And I know many people who struggle with depression and anxiety, they feel it as a physical thing. It's so much just pent up inside of ourselves that it starts affecting our physical body. And so, you and I came from the weight loss world. That's where we came from. And this, what we're talking about now, never gets brought in. Well, if you eat a certain amount of calories, you work out, you do this, you're going to lose weight. But are you? Are you? If you are carrying the weight of emotions built up over years of your life? No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, and yet we're supposed to think all of these things are in little boxes. Like, okay, if you want to lose weight, here's what you do. If you want to like deal with some of the mental health things you're dealing with, here's what you do. And there's no like integrativeness of all of these. Now, there are some good people out there trying to integrate them, but it's few and far between. When you read popular diet books, and I've written a few of them out there, like it's like I wrote this book, but there's nothing in here at all about the impact that trauma had on the weight, the impact of not processing overwhelm well, nothing like that. And it wasn't that I was being derelict in my duty of writing a book like that. It was just, it didn't seem, at least to the publisher, that it was related to the topic. And so you can't talk about those things, which is why we're talking about it here, which is why, I don't know, there might be some projects down the road that may come out and talk about these things because they're that important.
Yeah, it is so important. The crossover, okay, there's a little video that's gone around. It's a couple years old, and by a couple, probably a lot. I don't know how old it is. There was a pastor, and he was talking about the difference between a man brain and a woman brain. And I would dare to say that how the woman's brain is set up is how all of these things are. So he was saying that men have boxes and that they have a nothing box. They can go in their nothing box and think about absolutely nothing. I don't know if Jimmy has that box, but
no.
I wasn't put there, but that men can talk about this thing and then change, this thing and then this thing. And then when a woman talks, it's just all the things, like all the things going at one time.
You dump the boxes out on the floor and say, okay, what do we have here? Okay, right here. Yeah.
My husband and I were having one of those conversations last night. He wants to talk about this and then this and then this. And I'm like, but this is related to this. And then we need to talk about this. And that's how life is. That's how we are when we're talking about overwhelm, because it all relates. Weight loss and mindset. It's the same.
What's fascinating is you're a very structured person because of your perfectionism, which we've talked about, but yet you can't go there with a structured conversation. Like, why? Like, it seems like you'd be ready-made for your husband's ability to want box to box to box, because that's the way your brain works with other parts of your life.
I need the outside to be organized because the inside is a mess.
Fair enough. Like, let's don't look on the inner workings of your brain, because it'd be like,
yeah.
I think you sent me the other day about the Enneagram, which I know we haven't really talked about on the podcast yet, but Enneagram 3 is what I am, and it's like the messy kind of desk. And it's like, I know exactly where everything is. I love this here. I know where everything is, but it's not like this orderly, and you're a 1, so yours is very orderly. If we flip the camera around, I'm sure we'd see like a very, very like, orderly, neat, nothing out of order, maybe like standing up in alphabetical order, like almost to that anal retentiveness?
Be surprised. Be surprised. Now, is it driving me crazy? 100%. But be surprised. I'm in my guest bedroom. This is where I have everything set up. This is my space. I still have the big dishes from Thanksgiving on the bed because my husband threw the boxes away. He threw the boxes away for them, so I have to go get like a plastic container, and so they're on my bed. And then I have a broken sign that fell off that I have to fix. Is sitting on the bed. It's actually not. For me, it's an outward sign of, all right, I'm making progress inwardly. If I'm comfortable with this being in front of me,
it's not overwhelming you at all.
No, I'm good. I'm actually good.
That's progress, and see that's trying to talk about today is processing that overwhelm. A year ago, that would have made your brain have an aneurysm.
Oh no, I would have put off recording this podcast with you until I could clean it. Like that's literally what I would do.
So what's changed? Walk us through how you've healed over that past year, where now you're coming on. It's in your sight right now. You can look off camera and look right at what we just talked about, and it's not bothering you. There's not like that itch you have to like scratch, and it's not bothering you. What happened between a year ago and then now that you're okay with it?
Every single time that I would get overwhelmed, number one, if you follow my page and my stories, I give a quote of the day every day, coffee and quote. That's what I do. And the quote of, what'd you say?
And a heavy metal song to go with it. You did one, Disturbed, I think was the band today, and I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to read the quote, but I can't. I'm disturbed, all right.
I mean, come on. Like, I may look pristine, pretty, whatever on the outside. You can make judgments all you want to, but in my soul, I listen to heavy metal and like love all the skulls and stuff.
She does the death metal, and I'm 80s pop. Like, we couldn't be more diametrically opposite if we tried.
Well, anyway, so the quote of the day was, it doesn't get easier. It never gets easier. You just get stronger. And so every single time that I processed overwhelm over this last year, and if you know my story, you know that, hey, man, COVID's been hard enough, but that's like chump change in comparison to all of the overwhelm that's been in my life this year. And so I just got stronger, and I have a set of 5 things that I do when overwhelm comes my way, and I do these 5 things every single time. One is I always stop. I have to stop, look around me, and set a timer. I have to set a time because I'm structured, but I feel like if we stop when we're in the middle of overwhelm and we don't give ourselves a specific time, we'll sit there forever, stuck in inactivity. So I give myself 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever I'm processing deserves a certain amount of time. 2, after that timer is up, I commit myself to 15 minutes of action. I can do 15, and it's easy in our brain to plan, okay, 15 minutes, I'm going to move my body. I'm going to tackle this. I'm going to do this. 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, and the whole reason behind this 15-minute thing is in our brains, action produces results, and results produce progress, and progress keeps us going. Like, that's just how our brain works. And so after 15 minutes, I assess where I am. Am I still overwhelmed? Am I still feeling obnoxiously overwhelmed? If I am, I go back to step 1 and I sit for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however many minutes, and I set a timer, and I just keep going until I've made enough progress where, okay, I'm good. I can keep going. I can keep moving through this. 3 is when I'm overwhelmed, what is happening is we're thinking about the entire circle. We're thinking about the whole pie, the whole pizza. We're thinking about the whole thing. You can't. How do you eat a pizza? 1 slice at a time. Like that, you got it 1 slice at a time. You can't think about the entirety. Now, number 4, and I kind of talked about this earlier, you cannot produce progress from a place of hate. Like if you're sitting on the floor and you're like, I should do this and I should do that and I hate myself and why am I over? If you come at it from that, you're going to stay there. You're going to stay in that despair. You have to be kind. All right, cool. I was overwhelmed. Now it's time to tackle whatever's in front of me. It's time to tackle the beliefs that got me here. It's time to tackle all that. Have to be kind to yourself. And then lastly, 5, like you did yesterday, if it is applicable, ask for freaking help. Ask for help. It is not a dirty thing to ask somebody to help you process your overwhelm, to help you with the tasks that are piling up in your brain.
Can we pause on that one a second? Because I think the reason people don't and they're reticent to asking for help is, number one, the friends and family that they would be calling for help might judge them. So they're worried about that. They also feel like that it would put them in a position of weakness to these people, which if you've got friends and family that would judge you for this, family you can't do much about. You can shun them and not go to them when you need help, but you need to find some friends. Like I got a Brittany in my life.
Yeah.
I got various people in my life that I could go to, and I know without judgment would be able to offer words of encouragement and comfort, or in Brittany's case, convict the hell out of me right away. That's just how we roll. So, because I do the same thing to you.
Right.
Of things. And like when you were in the hospital, okay, this is not the moment to push Brittany. She's already pushed to her brink. Talk about overwhelmed. That was the ultimate in overwhelm for you this year. To the point that you reached out, and I knew at that moment when you reached out, and the tone, the grimness, and you admitted last week you wanted to die, that you did not need pushing. You needed coddling and loving and encouraging, and that's what I tried to give you. So knowing the moment of it, but you got to find those people in your life that would be willing to be that lifeline for you. And if you don't have that, I have people write me all the time, Brittany. They're like, I feel like I know you. You're like the only person I kind of know that I could trust. I'm like, you got to find people. It's just, and it's a sad statement of reality in our culture these days that people aren't willing to put themselves in that position to be that. I can't be that for everybody. You can't be that for everybody. You can be it for a few people, but not everybody. And you try. This is one of the things I know about you. You try to be that for everybody. And I know it overwhelms you trying to be the everything to everybody. And then guess what? All of those people you help ain't one person, ain't one single one of them trying to help people the way you help people.
They're not there yet.
No.
They're not there yet. And I do want to extend the invitation. It is in my bio on Instagram. My DMs are always open. I am a homeschool mom. I do have 3 little kids running around. I do have a life that keeps me very busy. But when I get a chance, I am always available to listen. And listen, I don't need all of the surface level bullshit. We don't have to go there. We don't have to talk about your day. You can just cut to the chase. I had someone message me a couple weeks back, and it just touched me so much. She's like, you know what? Can't tell anybody else this. I'm really struggling in school. And I'm like, cool, let's talk about it. And that's what I do in my DMs. Like, I am always available to cut through all of that and help process the way that I can. If you need help, I'm going to do my dangest to be there. And the only thing that I ask in return is, unlike some family members, if I'm taking the time to help you, please accept it. Like there's a lot of the times that people do offer advice, and on the opposite end, nobody wants to hear it and just ignores it.
Yeah, they want you to agree with them. And if you don't agree with them, they just dismiss you. I can't tell you how many times, this is a little bit of a tangent, but how many times I've done like business advice for people. Hey, you've been successful in business. Can you and so I'll talk to them and they're like, okay, I know all that stuff. What else you got? And I'm just like, don't dismiss what you hear a successful entrepreneur telling you works.
Right.
If you the job, go do it. But Don't
Yeah.
disrespect me like that by dismissing it. But I will say one thing, if they do reach out, which by the way, if you're looking for links to both of us on Instagram, it's if you go to the at One Step Deeper podcast, we have the clickable links to both of our pages there. So definitely reach out to Brittany. Brittany's growing, so go help her grow some more, guys. Go fill up her follow list. And I know you don't care about that, but it's fun to see you get some new followers from this. But the flip side of that is, yes, reach out. Yes, get to the task at hand. But the last thing, don't abuse it. Because I get people, Brittany, in the keto world, they'll write me a question about keto, and I'm more than happy to answer questions or any of the things. But the people that tick me off the most is when they write a question, then you answer, then another question, you answer, then another question, and it's like they abuse your time. And I'll be the first to admit that kind of overwhelms me a little bit. It did. Here's how I handle it now. First question, it's a freebie. You get the full shebang. I'm going to give you the full answer. Second question, you're going to give a half the answer. Third question, you get 3 words. And any subsequent questions, you get 1 word. And even if it means bye.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to let yourself go there and get overwhelmed. And people, they take advantage of that. And we'll probably do a whole episode on people taking advantage of you and how you handle that. And, yeah.
It all goes back to processing overwhelm. Like you have to protect yourself. And I'm all about helping people. But it was frustrating to me when I was in the keto space too, that people would ask me questions and ask. And I'm like, damn, man, I didn't ask nobody these questions. I used to use the magical thing called Google, like I just Googled it, and
read a book.
Right. Like, and so I try to be understanding. I really do. I like to comment other things. Like, I like to come at life understanding, not judgmental. And so I don't want to be rude. I'm not trying to come off rude, but damn, man, Google it. Like, like sometimes that's like some of the questions that I would get. I'm like, yeah, that's literally like basics. Like, okay, all right, let's do this. And so I just have a copy and paste that I would send to people at a certain time. But going back to the processing overwhelm, I mean, you have to protect yourself. I mean, you have to. And that's not just from people. You have to protect yourself in what you listen to and what you allow in, what you scroll on social media. All of these things are part of the things that fill our cup, and we don't even know we're filling our cup. I mean, if you're watching and zoning out to a TV show, that can be a positive thing. If you're watching Friends, my show of choice.
For you.
Yes. Or you can be zoned out and not thinking about anything, and you just get so enveloped in the show, you're filling your cup and you realize it. You're scrolling Instagram, like, oh gosh, 2 months ago, delete, because every time I would read a post from this one person, every time I would see their stories, every time I would read their posts, it would make me feel like shit. And I'm like, why am I allowing this in my space? I get to control who I see here. No, we're not allowing this. We're not allowing this. Throw that out. Start from the beginning. We're not allowing this overwhelm in our life. So yeah, you have to protect yourself too.
Yeah, I came up with this edict, and I encourage everybody watching and listening to this right now to do this and think about the people in your life. And this is IRL, in real life, as well as on social media. And here it is. If someone is not feeding into you, then they are sucking out of you. And you need to get rid of the people that suck, literally, and you need to get more people that feed. Then you become a feeder as well. Beware of the suckage from your own self, so that you can be that friend, be that feeder into other people. It's why I try to be encouraging. It's why I try to be positive in people's lives, because there's so many people that will suck it out of you, and there's not a feeder. So I love that you did that. I've done similar things. I'll mute some people before I just delete them, and then I kind of circle back around and see if they change, and sometimes they do. So and we were talking about one just yesterday where yeah, we were all both kind of, I don't know where this person's going. And then, oh, wow, definitely providing good content now and is feeding. So you have to make those judgment calls. And again, it's to prevent you from becoming overwhelmed. It's very easy to go there.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, there's a fine line between I'll mute you and I'll delete you. And there's a very bold I will block you. Like there are lines that I've created for myself. And honestly, that's in life. This is not just social media. There are lines that you cross where you get full access of Brittany. And I would dare to say I have 3 people in my life that have full access to me. Full access. They know all the deepest, darkest, all of it. My husband, Jimmy Moore, and my sister, like they get all the ugly. I'm sorry for y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all get all the ugly. And everybody on Instagram, you guys get me. I will talk to you. I will be open about it. But there are things that, I protect my own. I protect my space. And you're talking about being a feeder versus sucking the life out of somebody. It's okay within a relationship to be both things,
Yes.
as long as the other person is both things back to you. So Jimmy called me yesterday, or we texted yesterday and talked yesterday, and he needed more of me yesterday than I needed of him. And so I was there for him. A couple weeks back, I was crying on the floor and I needed to talk to Jimmy. And so he fed into me. And it's just, that's the appropriate relationship to have, that you both kind of lean on each other in those hard moments. It can't be one-sided. And we see that often in family structures. We see that often in relationships, that it's one-sided and one person tends to suck the life more out of the other, or vice versa.
I've warned you, we can't both be down at the same time.
It almost happened. And that was scary.
Within hours, yeah, because it was me in the morning and you by the afternoon, or vice versa. I forget what it was, but I was like, oof. But I was going to go there, though. One of the ways that helps me process overwhelm is helping someone else. Like, it seems so ironic that in your moment of despair, and listen, guys, this is a big one. Like, and it goes back to gratitude for the life you have. Sometimes the things you're overwhelmed by is, let's just be honest, first world problems. There's kids around the world that are starving because they don't have their next meal, and there's situations in life that are far worse than whatever it is that's overwhelming you. But when you go seek out someone that's in need, and I'll do this, I'll go seek out someone I see is struggling, but they're not asking for help. So I offer the help, and oh, wow, I've been waiting for somebody to and then at the end of helping someone else, I forget what I was overwhelmed by. And it's a great way to process it. It doesn't mean you're pushing it down and it goes away. It just reminds you that there's layers of this, that there's gradients, I guess is the word of it. You can be overwhelmed by something that seems big, but it's not really all that big. And when you help someone else that has a truly big problem, you kind of go, oh, my problem isn't a problem at all. And it just kind of humbles you when you put yourself in that position.
Yeah. You know me, I'm going to challenge that. And I like the thought process, and I can see that, respect that thought. But, I'm going to challenge that and say, that is great. And I do the same thing when I am down. Honestly, not lately, but I can say in the past, when I am my most down, I reach out to other people in the form of, let me help you. That is me trying to help myself. Let me help you. And that's not a good way to deal with things all the time. But yeah, you're right. It does put our own situations into perspective, but at the same time, we must never, ever, never, never, all the nevers, belittle what we are going through. I talked about on our last podcast, we all have a speed limit. We all have a limit of where we can go and what we can do, what we can accept in life. And even if it's a first world problem, even if it feels small and insignificant in comparison to somebody else, we're never fucking allowed to compare our things with somebody else's. Right. What Jimmy is going through right now does not compare in the slightest to what I'm facing right now, but they're both equally hard. And so I agree. Search out somebody and help. And I think once we get to that point in our life where we're willing to look outside of ourselves and help other people, man, the growth that can come from that. But it has to be an and, not an or, not I can feel bad or I can help somebody. It's I can feel bad and help somebody.
Well, and in the midst of that is where you might find a friend like Jimmy has a Brittany and Brittany has a Jimmy. That's the kind of cool thing when you're there for someone in their time of need. And then in that conversation, don't be surprised if they go, hey, is everything okay in your life? And then you're like, oh, thank God, I have somebody to talk to. And you can kind of gauge those people out. Not everybody's going to go one step deeper with you like we do, but that's a way to vet out people that could be that in your life. And we should probably do a whole episode, Brittany, on how you find a friend that will go one step deeper. And like you and I, it just happened organically. I think both of us were ready for that when we came together as friends. And so, and it happened very innocuously. And then it turned into something that now we're doing a podcast together and doing all kinds of things together. So it's cool.
Yes, absolutely. Finding a friend, and it kind of slaps you in the face sometimes, like in the most unexpected way. Like, come on, everybody from the outside looking in, 48-year-old male, 28-year-old female. We have on the outside nothing in common.
No.
But we are the best of friends. Like, I don't know. I can't explain it. Stop trying to look for friends in explained places. Like it just doesn't work that way.
Well, and it's funny because people just assume, well, of course he's friends with her. She's a beautiful young girl. Yeah, she's married, 3 kids. I love her husband. Wild Man is awesome.
Oh, man.
And I told her, I said, I know all your secrets. Ain't no way. No.
Oh, wow, man. Poor guy. Actually, no, he is very blessed. He is the most blessed man on the earth because he gets me. He gets Brittany and Bianca all at the same time. And I'm thankful for him. He is watching the girls while I'm sitting here talking to you guys. Yes. Love my wild man.
Yeah, we need to introduce Bianca soon because you mentioned her name last week. Yeah. This is the alter ego of Brittany that she calls Bianca. Does Bianca come out when you get overwhelmed?
If I let her out. So Bianca for me is twofold. So Brittany is the polished, put together. I can talk to you. I can say hard things to you in a polished way. Bianca is the bitch that doesn't care. Like, you get Bianca after so much of taking advantage of me, she comes out. Or if I'm like feeling myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, God dang, girl, you look good today. You know, that's my inner Bianca coming out. You know what I'm saying? Brittany's polished, and Bianca just don't care.
Don't give one single, you know what?
No, Bianca just don't. She don't care. Jimmy got to see Bianca, poor Jimmy, at KetoCon 2019, and I don't even know. Like, she just came out, and she just was present.
He was wilder than Wild Man. Wild and he's like, oh yeah, I'm used to this.
You'll see her come up. You'll definitely see her come up in our conversations when something gets me fired up real good, and I just can't care.
And I know how to push those buttons on Brittany. Stay tuned, you guys.
Oh man, hey, this is awesome though. I just a pause from what we're doing. I am so grateful to have, I just feel like I have a purpose, you know, like I feel like, and it's helping all of my overwhelm. It grounds me. And I think that can happen too. When we have that purpose in our life, that drive, it just kind of grounds us and brings us back outside of that overwhelm.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, because I've even noticed that with the thing I'm going through, and then all the everything going on in the world right now. This stupid election, this COVID kind of feels like it's going to go on forever. It's not, but that's kind of the feeling. And so all the thing and you know, it's easy to think, okay, I'm overwhelmed and there's no hope there. But then you kind of have moments of seeing what the purpose is in your own life, and separating yourself from the despair and kind of plucking yourself out of it and going, all right, I'm looking around. I'm not seeing the despair. It's almost like you're in a rain cloud that's like over one part. Like if it was in my neighborhood, just right here, but then I drive out of the neighborhood half a mile away and it's not raining. It's sunny. Birds are singing. And it's almost like we have to remove ourselves from the situation that we feel overwhelmed from to see that things aren't as gloom and doom as we think.
Yes. My mom is a painter, and we were having a discussion similar to this the other day, and she had the most perfect analogy for me, and it has really helped. So when you're up close, you have a huge painting, and you're up close on it. All you can see is a blotch of green. Like all you can see is a blotch of dark, and like you're just in the middle of dark. Like what the hell is this? And then you take some steps back and you see, oh, that's a shadow of this big, beautiful painting. And I was like, well, that's profound, Mom. My mom has some good little profound things in her life. She's very creative when she lets it out.
Yeah, she came up with the water, spilling water on the floor analogy we talked about last week. Yeah, she's got all kind of things. What was that other one you told me the other day? She had another one that, well, we were just talking, I think, yesterday or the day before about it. Anyway.
We were talking about a very creative punishment that I endured when I was a child.
Yes.
My mom's very creative.
That was. And we'll leave that to your imagination, you guys. So
Yes.
What have we talked about with this topic of overwhelm? I think we've hit on most of the key points that are kind of in our basic philosophy. Anything else?
No, I mean, I think we've covered it. No need to overwhelm the people.
Overwhelm you with the overwhelm information. Well, we got a little bit of time left. Why don't we kind of preview some of the other topics we're working on, and we specific ones coming up. We know the holidays are coming up very soon, the new year very soon. So what are some of those topics we're going to be hitting on?
So the week of brand new year 2021 that I feel like everybody is just taking a deep breath. And by the way, I just wanted to add a little note. As we go into 2021, we are not yelling Happy New Year. We are yelling Jumanji to get the fuck out of this year. We are out of this year, y'all. Just, oh my goodness. But I think everybody is kind of, I can already see it in people's posts. My dad, people are already like, oh, can 2020 be over? I'm ready for 2021. Y'all, it ain't the year. Like it's not going to magically disappear the first of the year. And so a lot of people start to make those New Year's resolutions. And I'm all for that. You know, if that actually makes a difference in your life, do it. But the topic that we're going to talk about is you cannot change yourself from a place of hate. Kind of touched on this a little bit today in processing over. You cannot change yourself from a place of hate. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and then the one leading up to Christmas, the week before Christmas, what was that one? What are we talking about?
Oh, goodness. The holidays when you don't want to be around these people.
Yes. How do you handle the holidays when you don't really like any of these people or something like that? So.
Yes.
I
said something yesterday in my stories that there was a post talking about typically the black sheep in the family is the one that recognizes everybody's toxic bullshit. And I was like, yeah, black sheep status. Hello. That's me. I will claim that one.
Yeah, I'm actually not going anywhere for Christmas. I need solitude away from that. And my birthday's 2 days after it. So it's like, I'm at the age where I don't really care about that as much as I would have, say, 25, 30 years ago. But it's a big deal to kind of be in that. I'll call Brittany. She'll talk to me on my birthday anyways.
Yeah, I'll be here. I will be here. But yeah, those are the topics that we have.
Yes.
And that's literally just 2 of them, guys. We have a notebook. I am so fired up. I know Jimmy's feeling the same way. We'll be on a text or a talk or whatever. Like, oh, gotta talk about that. Oh, gotta talk about that one. Oh, that's a topic.
Yeah, we literally, I think, have 20 topics ready to go for 2021. Just our conversations of just things come up, and I go, we got to talk about that. Like, and it's almost become different, our dynamic, because we do this show now, and it's like we don't want to waste content just talking, with each other on the phone. We almost kind of want to go, let's record, but no, we still talk on the phone.
Oh gosh, yes, that's great.
Yeah, but stay tuned, guys. One step deeper. We're full on in this. As of the recording of this, our website and the podcast is not quite ready, but when it is, we will let you know. Go follow us over on Instagram primarily. One Step Deeper Podcast is the username. You can find becoming.Brittney Lee. Brittany with 2 T's is how you spell that, and A and Y. And then Jimmy is at Living Low Carb Man over there as well. We're also have a Facebook community group, which has grown really fast. We put it out there, and a whole bunch of my friends came on and said, oh, yeah, we'll follow that. So that's One Step Deeper Podcast Community over on Facebook. You can definitely join. We'd love to have you there, and it'll keep the conversation going. Like, if you have kind of topics that you would like for us to talk about, we're all ears. And as we get the website built, we're going to have like a little email thing where you can write us right through the website so that you can send us your thoughts about what you heard us say, or your suggestions, pretty much anything you want to say, or if you want to just tell us your life story and get it out to somebody. We're definitely here for you. We both have kind of that heart for people and want to help you on your journey of going one step deeper. But that's fun.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, she said.
Quit. My accent is cute.
Hi, this is the funny thing. We live 2 hours apart, both in South Carolina, guys. So we can't make fun of each other's accent because it's the same one.
I try to be very polished, but it just comes out. Like I remember posting some videos, and someone had commented like, "Oh my gosh, I love your accent." And I'm like, "What accent? Like I don't know what you're talking about." Like I really, it just happens. It's just where we're from. But I am Southern, man. I can't help it.
It's so funny because I've done the Living La Vida Low Carb show forever. And people are like, wow, you have such a thick, rich Southern accent. I'm like, you ain't heard thick, rich Southern till you come down to South Kakalaki and hear some of these hicks here, man. We are definitely polished Southern speakers for sure.
Yeah. If anybody ever got to listen to my husband has a very deep accent, and it's partnered along with an extremely deep, like Sam Elliott, deep voice. Like, so it's a double whammy there.
Yeah, he got me the first time I heard him talk. I'm like, wow, you got a voice, dude. And you got an accent, dude.
And you don't expect it. Like, he's not a big burly guy. Like, I mean, he's normal stature. He does have a big beard and the wild man beard, but you don't expect that deep voice coming from him.
Exactly. Well, girl, we need to get here. Thanks for the show today. And guys, I hope you know how to process overwhelm better after today's show. And thanks for watching. And we'll see you again next time.
Yes.
Say bye, Brittany.
Bye, guys.